Hello and welcome to this fourth tutorial video on how to make the Saxon memory dragon. There are two ways you can go ahead with this filling. I'm just going to use polyfiber, but if you want to use something with a bit of weight, add it now and then skip to the section where you sew across the tail. So I'm just going to fill his whole body, arms and legs with polyfiber and then close up this hole with ladder stitch. I've got this little piece here with a hole in the side for turning out and that little section there for attaching to the tail. I'm going to turn it right sides out, which is a tricky little job because especially on a thicker material like this, the ends don't want to turn out properly. So do the best you can first of all and then grab a handy turning outy tool or pencil, as I like to call them. This one is actually made from recycled newspaper, this pencil, and it's sold by the Word Forest, the charity that we work with on reforestation. So not only does it save trees, but it also helps you turn your dragon's tail the right way out. Push it to the end, keep working on that. Don't be tempted to get anything sharper than the end of the pencil or possibly a chopstick, because if you go for anything sharp you're going to rip through your fabric, so just bear with it and use a bit of elbow grease. There we go, that'll do. Now that my dragon's filled and all of the gaps are sewn up, seams are closed up, we're going to attach his tail. And we're going to do that by popping the end of the tail in there and just ladder stitching all the way around that opening there. Now I'm going to position the eyes, and I'm going to use two little black bobblehead pins because they're perfect for just working out where you want the eyes to be, and you'll move these about. As soon as you pop those in, his character will start to come, so you move them about until you're happy with the positioning and the character. That looks good. There's a more in-depth version of this on how to insert eyes in a teddy bear. So a glass eye with a loop on the back and a doll needle, and here I've threaded a length of extra strong thread through the doll needle, so I've got the eye on the end of the loop and two ends here in my hand, and I'm going to thread those two ends first time, if I'm lucky, into my doll needle. Yay! That could have been embarrassing. And now I've got that ready, I can pull this bobblehead pin out a little and insert the doll needle into the base there where that pin has marked the spot. And then I'm going to go through the head, which, because it's quite firmly stuffed, it's going to take a bit of jiggling. I want to come out at the nape of the neck, close to the seam with the body, in the centre. Once I'm happy with that position, that looks good, I'm going to pull the thread through like that. So at the moment the eye is still sitting proud there, and I want to give it a good tug to make sure it pops in. So a good firm tug on that thread, make sure it's in position. And then I'm going to do the same with the other eye. Then I'm going to tie a really tight knot, pull the threads tight, possibly even get somebody to put their thumbs against the eyes and push them so that you get a bit of sculpting on the face. A good tight knot, and then insert your doll needle in at the position of the knot, just to come out somewhere else on the head, quite a distance away, and thread the ends of the thread, easier two at a time. Positioning's odd on this needle because of trying to hold it under the camera. There we go. And then I can pull the doll needle through, pull the threads tight and snip them close to the fabric so that the ends disappear inside. and then repeat that with the other 2 hanging threads, very close to the knot so that you can't see the threads. Again, pass the ends through the eye of the needle. Pull them tight, very tight. Snip them close to the fabric and they'll disappear inside. I'm using 2 bobble head pins again to work out the position for the nostrils of my dragon. And I'm going to make a French knot using black cotton pearl. There is a tutorial video on how to do this, but I'll just run through it quickly with you here. I've got a single thickness of thread on my doll needle. I'm going to go through from the chin and come out where that bobble head pin is. Lose the pin. Pull my needle through. It is quite thick thread. Put it all the way through. It's tangled around his arm. Pull it all the way through so you just lose the end inside like that. And then you're going to place the needle over the thread and wrap the thread around twice. Go back in very close, just a millimetre or 2 away from where you came out, and go across to where your second nostril is going to be. There is a much clearer video on how to make these French knots on our YouTube channel. And then when you pull it tight, the end should disappear in and should leave you with a tidy little knot. And again, place your needle over the end of the thread there where it comes out. Just move him this way around so you can see him a little clearer. Place the needle over the end of the thread and wrap it around twice, once, twice. Go back in very close, a millimetre or 2 away from where you came out. If you go in at exactly the same spot, then you're just going to pull the thread in and it'll disappear inside the head. So you need a millimetre or 2 to keep it on the surface, and then come out anywhere really under the chin, pull it through, and it'll all disappear inside. And there you go, nostrils. Pull it tight and snip it close and it will disappear inside. I'll just give that a push in. I didn't want to pull it too tight in case I pulled the head out of shape, so I'll just snip that end a bit more. There we go. So that's his nostrils. And then finally we want to add his mouth. Now for working out the positioning of his mouth, again, those good old bobblehead pins. You can try out all kinds of expressions. If you pop a couple of bobblehead pins in, like that, that looks like a good position there. Let's give it a go. Get your black thread and just wrap it around the ends and see if that looks good. And if you're happy with that, then with your doll needle with your black cotton pearl, in this case, come out where your first bobblehead pin is. Obviously, if you're making this for a baby, I'd recommend you knot all of these threads under the chin rather than just pull them in so they won't pull back out. And also, I'd just embroider the eyes rather than using glass boot button eyes. So embroidered eyes and knot all of your threads. Leave tails hanging under the chin and knot them under the chin and then lose them inside like you did with the thread from the eyes. So that's where I'm going back in there. Looks a bit grumpy. Let's give him a smile. Yay. Lovely. If you want that smile to be deeper, you can actually put a little stitch at the bottom there to hold it down. And there he is. All done. Saxon the Memory Dragon. That concludes our tutorial video. I hope it's been helpful. If it has, please subscribe. We'd love your feedback and a like. There are more videos coming soon.